Teaching children about their hellos or goodbyes, the yellow conversation, is a simple and easy thing to do when we use errorless learning strategies because it creates a low stress, high success learning environment. So what we're going to see in this video is how we can use either line drawings or words to write the answers down on our conversation stones. We can use a single example for some children. We can use multiple examples for other children. So let's take a look at this video and then we'll talk about the generic versus the stylized examples.
Hi, welcome to my place. We're going to start off with the yellow conversation first. So what you can see is that I have my two yellow conversation stones, and we're going to start off with our hello stone. Usually what I do is I'll write 4 examples of how we might greet people. So for example, in this one we have hi, good morning, morning, and hey. Now, what do you do for those kids that don't read? You just draw a stick person, something like this. And there we have our hello. So if we have our hellos, we also have our goodbyes. So let's see what that might look like. So I'll write goodbye in the middle. And then I'll write down 4 ways that we might say goodbye to people. For example, see ya, later, bye for now, or good night. So we would put our hello down there and our goodbye down there, and we are ready to start the yellow conversation.
So before we leave this slide, I want to talk just momentarily about the generic versus the stylized examples. So what you've seen in this video clip are really common ways of saying hello and goodbye. And that's where we would start with our kids. But once they are able to have a repertoire of greetings and farewells that are more commonly used, we can then move on to more stylized examples. In this video, what we're going to learn about is the use of what I call the conversation ball, and it is used for eye contact and turn taking. So let's take a look at this.
Another thing that we are going to use in this technique is a ball. It's a conversation ball, and we're going to use it as a therapy tool. We're going to use it primarily for 2 reasons. Firstly, to be able to get eye contact, and secondly, to be able to work on turn taking. But let's just talk about eye contact just for a minute. Eye contact is very important conversationally. Natural eye contact is a matter of looking at people, looking away, and looking back. It's kind of that looking back and forth. And it's something that comes naturally for most people, but it doesn't come naturally for all kids. In fact, some of the kids that I've worked with have expressed how uncomfortable eye contact can be. I've had kids say to me, not going there. I've had other kids say, too personal, can't do it. And I've even had kids say, it's painful to make eye contact. So ultimately, our goal is to help our kids learn how to make eye contact. Is very important. Not only is it important socially because it helps us to present as skilled conversationalists, but more importantly, it helps us to be able to get information, to be able to read the room, read our conversation partner. So it's a very important skill to learn. But in this technique, I tend to address it farther on down the road as far as working on it directly. In the meantime, in this online course, we're learning about greetings and chit-chat, embedded topics. So at this beginning level of the technique, I'm going to use the ball. The way that I'm going to use the ball is if a child is looking over here, I may use the ball to draw their attention and then bring it in to make that eye contact with them. And then, of course, it makes sense that this is going to work really well for turn taking because whoever has the ball is the one that should be talking. So if I'm talking and a child is interrupting me, I'll just go. And usually that gesture is enough to give them the clue that it's my turn. This is how we use the conversation ball.
We can take into consideration cultural differences and what that might look like with greetings and farewells. And keep in mind, this is a technique that can be used for second language learners. So this technique has been used to teach children who are English language learners how to use English. It has also been used in reverse to help English language learners learn their first tongue. So it's very flexible how these conversation stones can be used in order to teach greetings and farewells. So now that we've got the yellow conversation done, let's move on to the short conversation, or what we might call chit-chat or small talk. So as you can see, we've got two new conversation stones to add to our conversation path. We have the green conversation starter and the red conversation stopper. So we're going to do that same technique that we did before with our marker. Now, if there are kids that aren't readers, for our conversation starter, we might just draw a question mark. Because often our conversation starters are questions that we ask, and the first question that we tend to ask after we say hello is, hi, how are you? So let's write that one down and see if we can come up with 4 other conversation starters. So I'll write conversation starter in the middle, and then we'll write down 4. So we've got how are you? What's new? How's your day going? And if we know the people, we might say, how's your family? Now that's not a generic one, that's a very specific or a stylized one because we use that one with known partners. But that's how we can take these stones and start off with generic examples, and then as the kids get into the pattern of using them, we can help them stylize their questions for specific situations. So we've got our conversation starter done. Let's go on now to our conversation stopper. So we'll write conversation stopper in the middle and see if we can come up with 4 ways that we tend to say comments to let people know that we're just about ready to have our goodbye and move on with our day. And one of the words that I think that we use a lot, at least I do a lot when I'm getting ready to wrap up my conversation, is I'll say well. It's kind of like when you hear that word, you know that the conversation is winding down. So, well, I guess I better get going. Going. It's been nice bumping into you. Look at the time. If you're a student, you might say, well, I better get back to my homework. So we can write down whatever we want. Like I said, we'll start off with generic examples, but as the kids get into the rhythm of doing chit-chat, that's when we can stylize it. So we've got our conversation starter. So we have our hello, our conversation starter, and our conversation stopper, and that is the short conversation. The only thing, other thing I was going to mention is that in a way this is a little bit of an executive function task all on its own, a little baby executive function task, because when you think about it, the kids are starting here, their goal is to get there, they have steps to take them there, nice and easy steps because the answers are provided, And the options of what they can say are drawn right on the stones. So in the early stages of this technique, it's so easy. It's got the airless learning. It's got the kinesthetic. It's got the music. It's got the ball. The kids are having fun. They're engaged. And in a classroom setting, this is often what everybody's wanting to do. So just a little tip on that, what I will do, because everybody wants to walk the conversation path, but only 2 people are doing it. So 2 things. I will get popsicle sticks and put the kids' names on them, put them in a cup, and then we'll just randomly pick out 2 kids, and that makes sure that it's fair for everybody, because you know you're going to get it turned eventually. But the other thing is, what do you do with the rest of the kids sitting in the classroom when only 2 kids are walking the conversation path? You give them a job. Their job is that they are the reporters. What's a reporter's job? A reporter's job is to be a watcher and a listener. So the other children are sitting and they're watching what's happening in the conversation. They know that at the end of the conversation, they're going to provide some peer feedback in the way of 3 praises and 1 to think about. Now that's just a very simple task that they can do verbally. They can also do it in written form. But what a beautiful way for kids to learn how to give positive feedback for their peers in a way that they might not normally have the opportunity to do. It allows them to give praise that is specific and criticism that is constructive. And when you think about it, there are some kids that we have that don't get a lot of positive feedback. So why not just embed that extra little activity within walking the conversation path to be able to provide that skill that is going to help create a rich environment within the classroom setting, a rich social emotional environment. All right.